Hey y'all, it's your girl, Mama Kathy. Hey, I went and I got my eyebrows done yesterday. To me, she did a okay job. It wasn't worth the $15 that I paid for her to do them, but I got my nails done and I like them. I got the I got my four fingers black. Well, three fingers and a thumb black. And then I have the accent color like this. And no, I'm not sticking my middle finger up at you. So, what's going on with you guys out there in YouTube land? Me, I just been sitting here in this bed recovering from this stupid surgery. I think it's almost done now. The recovery is better, but I'm still being a lot of pain. Hi, how are you? Um, it's just a lot of stuff that's just been going on in my life that I have not shared with YouTube's. Thank you. I like them too. Hey, how are you? Welcome. Thank you, so am I. But unfortunately, I don't know if that is going to happen. I'm going to get into that story. I should not be saying that story or telling that story because to me it's negativity. So I don't know what to say. Um, I guess I told y'all that I would tell y'all the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, all that other stuff. So I'm gonna tell y'all what's going on. All right, so I went to the hospital to have like my 10th surgery with since 2012. Okay, um, I had when all this started out, I was a beautiful fat woman. I don't care. People can say fat is not beautiful, but fats are is beautiful. To me, I was. I was with my husband. He loved every bit of my cushions. Okay, everything he loved about me, from my beautiful face that people always say, oh, you have such a gorgeous face. And I used to hate that statement because that made me feel like the rest of me was not gorgeous, but it's okay. I accepted it with a smile. See that smile? I have a beautiful smile. Thank you. I need all the prayers that I can get. So in 2012, I had been in a hospital probably about 60 times admitted. The last 10 times of those 60 times that I was admitted into the hospital, I was in intensive care. And you said, well, what was wrong with you that why you were in the hospital that many times? And it was because I had asthma and COPD that came out of nowhere when I turned 45. And I'm 52 now. So as you see, I've been battling this illness since November 27, 2011 is when I first found out about it. I had double pneumonia in both of my lungs, okay? Had I not went to the hospital, it would have killed me because double pneumonia has no signs. I was just really super tired. Excuse me. So I stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks, with the double pneumonia. Then I got out of the hospital, and then unexpectedly, I still haven't had time to deal with this yet, and it's been since 2012. On Christmas Day, my dad died unexpectedly. I was on my way to my sister's house, me and my husband, to drop off his Christmas gifts, okay? And I get a phone call from my sister, and I was telling her I'm on my way, and she was crying. She was like, tell me daddy is not dad. And I was like, what? She was like, Kathy, tell me daddy is not dad. And I was like, hold on, please tell me that you're not saying that my daddy died on Christmas Day. And what the coincidence was that his mom was born on Christmas Day. And she had already preceded him in life, in death. So, needless to say, that messed me up, okay? And he died Christmas Day 2012. From then, I just got sicker and sicker and sicker. But I will tell you this: I did get a chance to see my dad twice before he died because I took him a brand new coat, a hat, and a glove that was from me and my sisters, and we gave him his Christmas present early because it was really, really super cold that year, and he really needed a coat, and he was so excited. The smile that was on my dad's face, but guess what he was so happy about? He was happy for the gloves because the gloves that I had just happened to see and I bought them for him on a whim. You peel the fingers back and he will still be able to light his cigarettes because he was a smoker. And so he was like really, really happy to have that. He was in a nursing home by his choice. He was a double bilateral amputee, which means he had no legs below the knee. And he wanted to be in a nursing home. He lived with us and he didn't like it because we had teenage kids and we could not, make our teenage kids not live the life of a teenage kid. So he preferred to go to the nursing home because my dad was like, he liked his solitude. He liked quietness, okay? I'm going to tell you guys a whole story. So if you got time, get a bowl of popcorn, sit back and eat. And I'm going to take you all the way up to today. So anyway, my dad didn't have life insurance. So me and my oldest sister, we had to do everything we could do to get my dad buried. And we didn't want to see him cremated because I don't know. It's just something that's inside of me that thinks that you can feel it if you get burnt. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're dead. And I know dead knows nothing. It clearly tells you that in the Bible. I didn't hear you. Oh, I'm sorry. So I didn't want to have my dad cremated. We had the money to have him cremated and put him in an urn and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't want that for my dad. So we did a fundraiser or whatever, and we was able to bury my father. And my best friend Dawn, she paid the last $1,800 we needed to have my father fully buried, to have the funeral, the casket, the flowers, the everything. She gave me the money for it. I see I'm losing people, so I don't know if my story is boring or not, but if it is, it's okay. I just need to talk this out so I can just get past this in my life. And I've never been able to grieve my dad's death. Hi, Jasmine. In 2012, we lost another member of our family, which was my husband's mom. And she was one of the best moms ever on this entire earth. If it could have been an angel living on earth, it would have been her because she would help anybody at any time. It did not matter because she was just that nice of a person. But out of the 30 years that I knew her, she basically stayed in the house and she died in her house out of the clear blue sky, just like my dad. On Christmas Day, my dad was sitting in his wheelchair in the hallway and he was singing Christmas carols. And everybody that would walk past him, family members of the other patients that came in and everything, he was already up and dressed because he was waiting on my sister to come pick him up. And he would tell everybody good morning and Merry Christmas. And so the nurse said, Carmen, I'm getting ready to give you your medicine. She was no more than about 2 feet in front of him. She turned around. She got his medicine out of the drawer. Yeah. And when she turned back around, my father's head was tilted to the side. And she was like, Carmen, Carmen, you gotta take your pill. Stop playing, because my father was a jokester. Oh, was my dad a jokester? That's what I miss about him too, and the kids miss that about him too. Hi. And so I'm having such pain in my stomach. Bear with me for a second. So, at any rate, she noticed that my dad was not playing, and she rushed him to his room because she didn't want the rest of the residents and their family to see what was going on. But actually, my dad had died in the chair right that quick from her turning around to get his medicine out of the locked drawer to give it to him. He had died. And it was a shock. It really was a shock. My husband's mom, I was in the hospital. This was in November 2012. Remember, my father died 2000, December 25th, 2011. My husband's mom died. Hi. My husband's mom died November, I believe it was the 16th, 2012. Hey, Yada, I'm telling a story all the way up to today because I haven't told YouTube what was going on with me, but I just came from seeing my doctor today and I'm just like bummed out. But anyway, you know the story. So, anyway, um, hey, Monica. Um, Somebody, I'm gonna tell a little funny story right quick. Somebody came and left me 3 bags of elbow macaroni and cheese in my mailbox. My memory is getting so bad. I told them to bring it to me for Christmas. I mean for Thanksgiving because I needed it for my Thanksgiving dinner, and I forgot. I forgot who I asked to bring it to me, and you know that's crazy. So anyway, like I said, November the 16th, I was in the hospital. Okay, no, I'm gonna go back before then. I had gotten rushed to the hospital, so I was in trauma room 1 at Fairview Hospital. Where, and that's trauma room 1 is where the person that's the sickest is in that room, and I couldn't breathe. And every 2 hours, I would have what they call striders, and kids is called coop, okay? And in adults, it's deadly, okay? Monica said hi, Daddy.
Hey, Monica.
He said hi, Monica. So anyway, my husband was sitting in there with me, my daughter Danietta, her husband Laquan, and her daughter Ariel. They were in the hospital room with me. And I had been in there for a couple hours, and we was waiting on a specialist to find out if my throat was closing shut, okay? So as we're sitting there, my husband get a phone call saying that they needed all of the siblings of his mom to get to the hospital as soon as possible. And she was at Metro Hospital here in Cleveland, and I was in Fairview Hospital. So my husband had his head down, and he didn't know what to do. And I touched my husband. You know, he had tears in his eyes. He's a man, but men cry. You know, especially when you in love and you're torn between 2 women. You torn between the woman who gave you birth, and you torn between your wife that you've been with over 30 years, who your mother absolutely adored and loved, okay? And I adored and loved her the same. And I touched him and I said, Danny, go with your mom. I didn't want him to have to make that decision on his own. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to make that decision. I am not selfish. I said, go. I said, and when you're done, come back. I'll be here. Okay? And he didn't want to go because he knew how sick I was. And he wanted to see what the expert had to say. So what we decided to do was, by him being so emotional, because he didn't know what was going on with his mom. He didn't know if his mom had passed. He didn't know if his mom was getting ready to pass. He didn't know what was going on. All the message was, it was just urgent, get here fast, okay? So my daughter Yetta and her husband took my husband. They drove him because I didn't want him driving by himself.
Oh, Yada,
And
Beth them took you.
oh, Beth took you?
Yeah, it was Beth.
You sure it was Beth? Because Ariel was with me. Ariel
Yada
stayed.
took me, yeah.
Yeah, Yada took you. Yeah, Yada and Quan took you because Ariel stayed with me.
Beth took me the first
And
time.
so Ariel was probably about 7, 8 years old at the time, so she was just a little girl. And so I started to have this asthma attack where I couldn't breathe, and I told her to go get the nurse. They said, oh, we'll send somebody in there. And I remember I told you guys I was in trauma room 1, okay? It's always supposed to be someone hooked up to trauma room 1, assigned to that room specifically. So I'm laying there, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe, and I don't know what to do. The baby done been up there to the counter a couple times, and they didn't come. And I'm not saying that, you know, Fairview Hospital is 95% white run. They hardly have any black people in there working. If they is working in there, they're working as janitors, okay? Housekeepers. And that is just the truth. I lived there for 5 years. So this is something that I know firsthand. This is not something that I'm making up, and I am never prejudiced, okay? I have a stepmother. She's white. I have sisters that's mixed. I'm not prejudiced, okay? I'm just telling you how the system runs, okay? Cleveland Clinic is, they either have foreigners or either they have white people. You very seldom see a black nurse. You very seldom see a black doctor. So anyway, um, I was so worried about my mother-in-law because I didn't know what had happened. So I had told my husband, when you get there, call me, let me know what's going on. And so what they had said, so everybody had gotten there, and the doctors came in, and they had a conference with the mother in the middle, and they said that her heart was operating at like 20%, and she did this motion to my husband, and he leaned down to his mom, and his mom said, I'm not ready to leave yet. And that broke his heart. So all the siblings was there because it's like 13 of them. And so I was still at the hospital with the baby by myself, struggling to breathe. And I just needed a treatment to open me up. At that point, I don't know if we have any nurses out there, but if you know what epinephrine is, it's a drug that really opens you up, but you have to be in a bad way to get it. They was giving me shots. They was giving it to me in the nose. But at this point, I hadn't been having anything, okay? So all of a sudden, I looked and I seen this girl walk through with 2 kids. And I was like, oh, that's mine. I would say she my play daughter because she's my daughter's age, my oldest daughter's age, and we were really, really good friends. She's supposed to come see me tomorrow, and her name is Dee. And she has a daughter named Blessing and a son named Given. And she just had a new baby, a little girl, but I don't remember her name off the top of my head right now. But anyway, she came in, she took one look at me and went to the nursery station, and she literally had it out. They claimed that they thought the baby was saying that she was going to need a treatment from a respiratory therapist. What? Or I needed to be checked by the respiratory therapist. They didn't know that I was in trouble. Well, by the time they got in there, I was in so much trouble that they had, guess where I was? I wound up in intensive care, which was very sad. I called my husband and I told him that I was going to intensive care. So when he came back to come to the second floor, asked how his mom was doing, and he explained to me what it was, and I told him to take his time, that Dee was there with me. And she waited with me until my family came back to make sure that I was properly cared for. And I will always appreciate her until the day that I die because I felt like an angel had walked into that room, okay? So after that, a few months later, in November, thanks, in November, my mother-in-law, I was in the hospital, I was in the hospital, and this was literally after being in the hospital all that time. This was the first time that me and my husband had ever watched a movie together, and it was Coach Carter. He was either playing Texas Hold'em on his phone, or he was looking at Netflix on his tablet or my computer. But we was watching Coach Carter. To this day, we won't touch Coach Carter. He got a phone call from his brother and touched Coach Carter. He got a phone call from his brother, and he said, Danny, he said, Mama ain't with us no more. And my husband broke down. And I'm looking at my husband like, what happened, Because this happened months later after the initial call to the hospital. And I'm looking at him like, what happened? And then, he told me that his mom had passed. And I was so devastated. And I was holding him and I was crying with him. And then he had to get up and go to her. And he had to leave me there in the hospital again. And if I was not so sick, I would have signed myself out. Because that wasn't the first time your girl done signed herself out. Now, I got a spicy side to me. I'm evil. If you ain't doing what I want you to do or what I think you need to be doing, I'm leaving, okay? You ain't finna keep me there. I'm about to go. Bye. So, at any rate, now y'all know the stories of my dad dying and his mom dying. And last year, January, his brother passed away with cancer. He was 64, I believe. In 2006, his sister passed away from cancer, and cancer had riddled her whole body, and she was only 53 years old. And that was one of his best friends. He talked to her 5, 6 times a day on the telephone. They, good morning, good night, I love you, all that stuff, and we really miss her. So through all that time, so they said the thing that was causing me the most problem was I was having this acid reflux. And what it was doing, it was coming straight up my stomach, straight up my here, and locking it, which was giving me striders, and I could not breathe. And it would happen at any given time. It didn't have no signs that it was about to happen. You understand what I'm saying? And plus, I was so nauseous and so tired. So anyway, my pulmonologist sent me over. I was in Fairview, Cleveland Clinic. He sent me over to University Hospital to this renowned doctor. His name is Dr. Ponsky. I went to go see him. He said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to give you this surgery. Now, remember I told you guys I was a happy fat lady, okay? Love me. I can walk. I'll walk everybody. Drop it like it was hot. Pick it back up. I could do it all, okay? So, then, he said, where you need to have the operation to clear up the acid reflux to stop it from coming all the way up is almost the same as having a gastric bypass. Now, at this point, I weigh 359 pounds because they have been giving me steroids. I can show you guys pictures of me, and you would not believe that that is Mama Kathy, okay? I can put a picture up right now that will blow your mind, okay? So, it did. So, at any rate, he sent her in to talk to me. She was an Indian doctor, okay, at UH, University Hospital. She came in and she was like, okay, she said, Dr. Ponsky feels as though you would benefit from having a gastro bypass surgery, the original one, the Roux-en-Y. And she said it would help your asthma, and it's a life or death situation. If you have it, you'll live. If you don't, you're gonna die. So me and my husband looking at each other, and she said, you have until the time that I come back from my rounds to make your decision, which probably was about 3 hours, okay? So if somebody come in your face, and I'm already sick, and if somebody come in your face and they say that if you have this surgery, which was already similar to the one you're about to have, it's going to save your life, it's going to stop you from having all this asthma attacks and the COPD, then what would you do? Because it was almost like I was under duress. Then what would you do? Because it was almost like I was under duress. You understand? It was like, I'd be damned if I do and I'd be damned if I don't. And if I want to live, I better have it. I was only 46. You understand? Who wants to die at 46? I have all these grandbabies. I have my husband. I have my children. I have my mom. Husband. I have my children. I have my mom. Brothers and sisters. Nieces and nephews who don't give a damn about me today. And I don't care. I was the matriarch of my family, and I don't care. I was the matriarch of my family, which I have since lost that title when I got sick because the family fell apart, which I don't care because I have 6 children, 31 grandbabies, and 1 great-grandbaby, and that is enough to do us. Bless you. We can have a party any day and jam our ass off and don't have to worry about nobody else, okay? So, when she came back down, God gave me a hint, and I should have listened, okay? When she came back in, she said, okay, what's your answer? I said, well, me and my husband, we discussed it, and since it's life or death, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take the surgery. She said, okay. She said, so from now on out, you are not to have anything to eat. The only thing I want you to drink is Boost. She said, you see this stuff right here, which was a blueberry muffin that my granddaughter Alasia asked me to order her from the menu. But when she left, she forgot it. I was never a sweet person, no matter how fat I was. I didn't eat a lot of sweet. I was a meat eater. Okay, I love meat, steak, pork steak. Exactly. Love you too. So anyway, um, I went on ahead and I accepted it. You know, with no education, didn't know what was gonna happen to my body when it was all over said and done. Okay. So 2 days later, they gave me the surgery. You know, she told me eating these blueberry muffins is what got me in the trouble I was in the first place. First of all, bitch, you did not know me, okay? Because if you did, you would have never said that to me because I didn't even eat a whole lot of food. It was just that them steroids they put me on had blew me up so big. Of course, I was 336 before they even started the steroids, but I got all the way up to 359 pounds, and it was crazy. You know, from steroids. I mean, my face was so fat. I was so light skinned, I was damn near white, just like I was when I came out as a baby. So, because I hadn't been in the sun, I had been in the hospital all that time. So, I went ahead and I had the surgery, okay? And the bitch messed it up. That's the best thing I could say. She was an evil person. She was an Indian lady. She was evil. She had something against fat people. You know, and you could tell when you talking to a person that in the way that they talk to you, she didn't she should have never been in that type of job. What first of all, she wasn't skinny herself. She wore like a size 14, 16, 16, 18. She wasn't small. You know what I'm saying? And but she had something against obese people or morbidly obese people. And I guess I was morbidly obese, and she had something against us. Well, university always threatened when it comes to surgery and very demanding as their medical terms trying to scare you. And I guess that was it because, well, you know, I was 46 and I didn't want to die. You know what I'm saying? So at any rate, she blocked the surgery. Okay, she bragged about how many surgeries she did, how many success rates she had, and everything. Let me tell you, I literally could not eat. I could not drink. All I did was dry heave. Not throw up, dry heave. If anybody know about dry heaving, it is the worst thing that could ever happen to you. It is so debilitating to your life. Yes, Beth. I'm in live, so come in there. What do you want? So, at any rate, um, so I had the surgery, and so I just kept dry heaving, dry heaving. I couldn't get off the couch, couldn't get off the couch. So I had been in the hospital at this point so many times. I had the surgery August 9th, 2012. I was so sick. I'm telling you, I was so sick. It was ridiculous. I would stand up and I would be so dizzy. I couldn't even make it upstairs to my bed because I didn't have the strength to climb in my bed because my bed set up high. It's a queen size and I had the high pillow top mattress and the high box spring. So I couldn't climb up in the bed. So me and my husband slept downstairs in our living room on the couch for months at a time, okay? So this particular day, this just told you that I was on live. So why are you calling me? Danny, call Beth and tell her that I'm on live. So, at anyway, I was so sick that day. I could barely get up to go use the potty, okay? So, and the potty was just across the room in the, you know, the living room. And it was, and I just couldn't barely make it over there. I was so so dizzy, so dizzy. I was like, could barely, hey, how you doing? I could barely move, okay?
I don't know what you
So,
wanted either. I was downstairs.
so I
I
was
asked
like,
my mom online. That's what you want to speak.
so I was like, I'm so sick. He could see that I was sick.
She ain't put no money in our mailbox. She put some noodles in there.
Who did that?
Quita put $35 in the mailbox.
Ain't no money was in my
Ain't no
mailbox.
money in there. She just lied.
That was a lie. Wasn't no money in my
Was it in
mailbox.
that envelope?
What envelope?
That one you had. You said came back.
No, that came back from Shonda Band Runner Squad. That I had sent her 3 books of
Okay, but ain't
stamps.
no money was in the
Wasn't no, it wasn't no mail, the money in that box. If it was, it's still in there.
I'll go look and see.
So I'm sorry, y'all. So anyway, I said I don't want to go back to the hospital. So I'm tired. I don't want to go. This has had to be like 2 weeks after the surgery from the gastro bypass. So what happened was I kept saying I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't feel like sitting up there. I'm tired. I feel like they're poking me. I just want to lay here. And so my husband's like, I don't want to go because we done been there too many times and blah, blah, blah. But then he was like, okay, no, you need to go. So he helped me upstairs, got me all washed up, got me dressed because I was so weak that I could not even do it myself under my own energy. I could not wash up, could not dress, could not do anything. He did it all for me, okay? So we went to the hospital, and I told him, I said, my stomach is hurting so bad in my chest, I don't know what to do. So immediately they gave me pain medicine, which relieved the pain a little bit. They said, we're going to give you a CT scan. Well, they did a CT scan of my stomach. But at the very bottom of it, the very bottom lobe of my lung, they found a blood clot. So they was like, okay, we need a CT scan of her lungs. They did a CT scan of my lungs, and it was full of little bitty blood clots. They said had I not come in that night, I would not be here today. Okay? They put me on, you know how you get on a bag of saline fluids, IV? The heparin bags was double that, and I was on that around the clock for I was around
That's what's in there.
that was in there $20.
Yeah, she's talking about $35.
Well, no, $35, $20 that was in there.
Unless it's in that paper stuff. I know.
Well, it must have been mine because she owed me money.
She didn't put it in there. She just lied.
I'm having a conversation back in here. I'm sorry. So at any rate, so they said it had not come, I would have been dead of the blood clot. So my husband saved my life because I wasn't going to go. I was just gonna lay there. I didn't care at that point. I was so sick. I was so miserable. I didn't want to live anyway. I was just tired of it at that point. So
do what she gonna do.
I was in the hospital for over 2 weeks on heparin, on the fluids, and then they had the bag where you stick in your stomach. It's not heparin with the one they stick in your stomach. It starts with an N. I can't think of what it was. But not only was I doing the heparin bags to get it out. Hey. Tell I love her too. I have seen better days and I have been in better spirits. But I'm getting there. Give me 1 more minute and I will be there. So anyway, during that time, I had my appendix out. I had my gallbladder removed. I had a fallopian tube removed. I had part of my uterus removed. I had a filter put in to stop blood clots. I had to go back to University Hospital, and I had 13 blood transfusions. I had so many plasma transfusions that I can't count. I was so dehydrated because I could have nothing by mouth. I mean, I could have it, but I just couldn't take it because all I did was dry heave. Because with the difference between a Roux-en-Y, gastro bypass, and a sleeve is that they take and move your intestines with the Roux-en-Y. With the sleeve, with the sleeve, they take it and they cut your stomach like a banana, and they take out like 90% or 85% of your stomach. But everything else they leave the right way. The other part, that Roux-en-Y, as soon as something going out of my mouth, baby, it's gone, okay? So, thank you. So all together, I had like 10 surgeries, okay? It was horrible. I was in the, I had developed they I had a bowel obstruction, okay? I was sitting up here on the bed, you know, minding my business, doing my things I do at a certain time of year, and I was on the computer. And then my stomach started to hurt. I was like, ah, dang, what's that? I said, that hurt. So I kept on talking, laughing, smiling, you know what I'm saying? And then I was like, ah, that really hurts. So this is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. About 9 o'clock that night, I couldn't take it no more. I was delirious with pain. So I went to the hospital and they were overpacked, right? So they told me to sit out there and they gave me a bucket. I filled that bucket up with brown fluid, right? And they still didn't care. They still kept me out there. But wait a minute, that wasn't the worst part of what happened to me that night, though. Let me tell you what happened. So I told my husband, I said, go up there and tell them that I'm having chest pains. I'm thinking I'm having an asthma attack. So that got me back to the back room, right? Instead of having to sit out there, I had already been out there in the hallway for 3 hours during this pain. So when I went to go get up out of the chair, I was in so much pain. I reached for the doctor's arm. Do you know she snatched her arm back? She was a foreign doctor. She snatched her arm back like, don't touch me. And I was like, wow. Did I report her ass? Yes, I did, because I almost fell because that I was in so much pain. The bitch wouldn't even help me in my bed. You understand? And I don't even know how I made it in there to this day. I don't know how I made it through a lot of things. So it can't be nothing but God, okay? So, at any rate, I had a bowel obstruction. So I didn't eat or drink anything for about a week. Then this doctor came in with these pearly white teeth. He came in telling my husband jokes and everything. He was like, oh, we going to take care of your beautiful wife. She in the right hands. And we, you know, we got this bowel obstruction. We going to go in there and do it. You wish you knew who name. I'll tell you her name. If you want the doctor name, her name is Lena Catan. That's her name, okay? And her assistant's name is Karen. Karen was more compassionate than Lena Catan could ever be. Dr. Lena Catan, okay? So, prior to that, I had went to find out why I was dry heaving so much after I had came out the hospital with the blood clot situation. And the doctor told me that the hole was so small that he went past it, that he couldn't even find it. You understand? He had to come back up, and then when he did find it, he had to stretch the hole because the hole was so small. And that's why I was dry heaving all the time. In November the 9th, my sister, Maria, had gastro bypass surgery, the sleeve. I tried to talk her out of it after seeing what I had been through since August. And she was like, no, she was going to go ahead and get hers done, okay? So she got hers done, and so she called me on the phone. She's like, Kathy, so how you doing today? And so I would tell her how I was doing. You could hear how I was doing. My voice was so weak I could barely talk. And then she felt so bad for me. She just wanted to make it up like she was having a bad day. But actually, she had no no effects of her gastro bypass, the sleeve, you know, and plus she went to Charity Hospital, which was the leader. They was the ones who started it here in Ohio, okay? So that's where they should have sent me instead of University Hospital, you understand? She went back to work after 3 weeks and she had no problem. She ain't had, thank you, love you too. She did not have no problems at all. Went back to work after 3 weeks. Tell me, Leah and Nana said hi. And so, but guess what? She gained all her weight back now, and maybe a little bit more. Okay, but they said it's only a 95% chance that you would keep your weight off of you with gastro bypass surgery. And her problem was is that she started to drink wine again, and wine have a lot of sugar. And then she just went on eating what she wanted to eat, and she stretched her stomach out. So hey, that's what she did. That's what she did. So anyway, this bastard who came in with the pearly white teeth, I think his name was Timothy. I got his card in my wallet. And he came in and he was like, I'm gonna take her to surgery, and when she come back, you gonna have a brand new wife, and blah 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 blah. He took me into surgery. He saw that my anatomy had been changed. So what he did was he took my intestines and pulled them apart, and it was angry and red and everything, and he just stuck me back together and closed me up. Okay. Good night. Have a good night's sleep. I hope you have a good night at work tonight. Thanks for staying so long. So at any rate, send me back to the room. And so at this point, I probably hadn't had anything to eat now for going on 40 some days. Nothing to eat nor drink by mouth, okay? Just regular IV liquids. So my husband said, isn't it true that if you go 45 days without food that you are in starvation mode and you die? So what are y'all gonna do? Just sit here and let her die? Because she haven't had nothing to eat nor drink. And at this point, after he had did after he had did the bowel obstruction surgery on me, he screwed me up. He ain't do nothing but open me up, pull it apart. See, these doctors, they like to take on the complicated cases, and if they could get you all fixed up, hey, that's something they could put under their belt. You know, that's something they could put on their notch. And then they could be like, yeah, you know, I did this. It was a hard case, but I got it done. You know, no, he fucked it up. Excuse my language, okay? So 45 days later, I'm in the hospital. So my husband was like, y'all got to do something. Y'all not just finna just let her just sit here and start it up. So they put me on this stuff called TPN. It's artificial nutrients, and it goes through your vein. And that's that thing that I show y'all that I have in my chest right here. It's been there. So this is my second one that I've had. The first one I had was in a PICC line. This one is in my central artery system, and it sits at the tip of my heart. So when I'm holding my grandbabies, I have to be very careful, because if they grab it and pull it, it bleed, I die, because that's where it's at. It's in my central line. So sometimes I sit back, and it's such a hard story to tell, because sometimes I can't believe that it's actually my story, my life, you know. And God blessed me with the right person to spend my life with, which is my husband, Danny, because he's there every step of the way for me, and he doesn't regret it. And I don't take him for granted. And if I did, I'll always tell him to tell me if you feel like I'm taking you for granted. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I can think something and he's automatically doing it. You know, it's like we're one and we're one, because our minds are together, okay? So I'm constantly throwing up this bile in his pan, okay? From the day that I walked in the hospital, I'm constantly throwing up this bile in his pan. Now it's starting to smell, because you know what bile is, right? Bile ain't nothing but poop coming up the wrong way, okay? Poop come out one way and the other way. Come out two ways, out your mouth and out your butt, okay? Mine decided it was coming out my mouth, okay? And at first, it wasn't nasty. It was just fluid coming up, and I just throw it up, and I just had the bucket there all day, and I just throw it up. So then the surgeon came up, Dr. Augustine. He came up and he said, Catherine, he came up with one of his residents. And he was like, Catherine, he said, I know you had a bad experience with the G-tube. He said, but you will feel so much better if you let us put the G-tube down and let it suck the stuff up instead of you throwing up all day, every day. You can't go on like this, right? So at this point, they had gave me the TPN, which was artificial nutrition, okay? Because my husband requested it. So they gave me artificial nutrition. So I was, even though I couldn't eat or drink anything by mouth. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's crazy. So, he said to me, I tell you what, he said, I'll give you any type of pain medicine you want. I'll give you any type of anxiety medicine you want. Just please, please let me put this G-tube down. He said, I broke my surgical intern up here. He will put it down for you. And you don't have to worry about him just slamming it down like you're nobody. You understand? He's going to take excellent care of you. That doctor really, really seriously cared, and to this day, he still cared. He talked me into it. They gave me the pain medicine, and then afterwards, they gave me the anxiety medicine. They should have gave me anxiety medicine first, did the pain medicine, then I would have been okay. So he put it in, and then he would put it in, he'll pull it out, pull it in, pull it out. I was like, just do it, just do it, just do it. He put it in. And then they gave me the anxiety medicine through the IV, and it just automatically just put me to sleep. And as I'm asleep, my husband is taking video, and you can actually see all the brown stuff coming out of the tube, out of my stomach, going into the machine on the wall. It was a trip. He showed me the video later on when I woke up. So then I talked them. No. So then he said, we need you to. No, they said that they had to wait because it was a gray window before they could give me bowel obstruction surgery again. He said they needed me to wait at least a month. I said, well, I don't want to be in the hospital for another month, so just send me home. So they send me home on TPN with Cleveland Clinic nurses, right? So my husband wanted some shrimp fried rice. Now they had gave your girl mama Kathy explicit directions. Do not eat anything or drink anything by mouth. Well, I took a tiny bite of a shrimp from shrimp fried rice, okay? And about 3 corners of rice. And I ate that, and what happened? I started to throw up. Nothing but bile. So I didn't go back to the hospital that night because I was tired, I was exhausted, I'm going to sleep, right? Then the next day, the nurse came in because I was getting a nurse twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, because they needed to make sure that we knew how to, do that TPN. It's a trick to that shit. So anyway, the nurse came in. She said, oh, no, just throwing up that little bit. You're okay. Honey, by the time she got finished with what she was doing, the whole basin was filled up with bile. She was like, oh, no, you have to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, and then that's when they talked me into putting the tube down my nose. I know, girl. I was hard-headed, honey. That stuff just smelled too good. I mean, I'm only human, sure. We human get tempted, Shonda. So anyway, so that's when I went in, and that's when he talked me into the tube with going down my nose or whatever. I had it backwards, sorry. So anyway, he said Thursday we're going to take you in for surgery. Okay, Thursday my husband had a doctor's appointment. I said, oh, go on to your doctor's appointment. They said it's gonna be a routine surgery. The kids will be up here, they'll keep you informed or whatever. So he didn't stay up there with me that night. He went home, because in reality he stayed up there. What's really going on in your life? This is what's really going on in my life, and I'm about to finish telling you. I don't know if that was a sarcastic question or if you're really interested in knowing. I am, but I'm going to keep on going. Whether it was sarcastic or it was just an honest question. So, anyway, I told my husband, it was on a Thursday, to go head on to an appointment. And my kids to be there. So my daughter Beth and her daughter Malaya came up, and they got up there early enough because they changed my schedule. And so they got me in earlier, and they said that it'd be an hour and a half to 2 hours I would be in surgery. So at any rate, when Beth and her baby got there, I told her baby, come pray with me. And I had told my daughter about this. I said, I don't know what's going on, but I'm really, really sad about this. I'm really, really scared about this surgery. And so, you know, I prayed with the baby or whatever, and they came up, got me, took me down to the room, and then all of a sudden they kept asking for my husband. He wasn't back yet. They kept asking for my husband, kept coming out. Well, when her husband get here, have him call me. We need a doctor to come out and talk to him. Well, when they cut me open, everything in me was slimy. It was all a mess. They couldn't make out what organ was which, and they didn't. So they said, so we're still working. So then Dr. Augustine came out. Now by this time, all the family had heard. They said they had never seen as many people for one person on the surgery floor in Fairview Hospital, except for Mama Kathy. But them bitches was only up there being nosy because them motherfuckers didn't give a fuck about me, okay? They started rumors. They said that I was comatose. They said that I was brain dead, okay? But what the surgeon came out and told my husband and my children is that the surgery, I was in surgery way, way longer than they expected, okay? 4 or 5 hours. So, at any rate, they came out and they told my husband, he said, she's going immediately to intensive care. I don't think she's going to make it. If she makes it, I don't think she's going to make it. I believe she's going to have a heart attack. We can't get her heart rate to go down. My heart rate was anywhere from 158 all the way up to 200, and they couldn't get it to go any lower. And they said that if she did wake up, it'd be in 3 or 4 days. But they didn't think I would make it. So that destroyed, my whole family was just destroyed by it, okay? My daughter Yetta, she was supposed to come, but she was the manager at her job. And so she was like, okay, well, Beth, you just tell me what's going on. So Beth and Amanda went to the restroom, and they was crying so bad. And when Yetta got on the phone and they was crying, Yetta just started crying because I guess she just automatically thought, my mommy died, because the way they crying, she got to be dead, you know. And so her workers got her, took her off the floor, took her in the back room and everything. And then she got the story of what was going on. And then everybody was up there, whatever have you, and whatever. And people who I hadn't seen, and people who was there for the right reasons, and then it was just people that was there for nosy. I don't know what Big Party is doing. Hey, President Siad, I don't know what Big Party is doing. I don't know if Big Party is being genuine or a Big Party is being sarcastic. Answer the question, Big Party. Are you being genuine or are you being sarcastic? Because if you're being sarcastic, you can leave, because you know, I am already down enough with the story that I'm about to tell you guys right now, what's going on in my life. And I really don't need nobody in here with their negativity. It's only positive vibes right now. Just positive vibes, please. That's all I want is positive vibes. I don't want negative vibes, okay? So I didn't have.
Barbie doing that shit.
Thank you. I hope so. You know, but so I've been through a lot. I done had like 10 surgeries since 2011. I'd have been in the hospital literally over 100 times. I moved in this house February 2012, and we did not even know what the hell this house looked like. We had put brand new furniture throughout the whole house and did not even live here. My son Dochi lived here because we needed somebody to live in our house. So he gave up his place to come stay with us, you know, to come live in our house and you know, to take care of our dog and everything. And plus, he came to the hospital almost every day to see me. You understand? And so I finally, and I had feeding tubes. I have had at least 7 feeding tubes in my body because I could not eat food, okay? And that's why when I be doing these mukbangs, I be want to eat this food so bad. That mukbang I had with Dochi and Nisha the other day, I paid for that shit for 2 days. I mean, after I was done, I could barely make it up the steps. I just started to dry heave and dry heave and dry heave. I should have never ate that shit. I shouldn't have been. I was trying to be, you know, funny and silly and eat it and just, you know, and I shouldn't have did it. I really should have did it. I should have been silly watching them eat the shit. That's what I should have did. So anyway, I wanted to sue the doctor for it. And they said that the statute of limitation had ran out. Okay? Now by this time I done had about 6 EDGs. EDGs where they go through your nose, put you to sleep, go through your nose, look through your stomach to make sure everything is okay. And they had to stretch the opening to where she had made it too close. And it just kept closing back up. So if anything go inside of there like this, that, you know, like this, it clogs it up. And then that's when I get like really, really sick. So then trying to see if I know I'm skipping parts of the story, but that's okay. I'm just trying to get to this part. Well, I was on TPN for a year. Okay, I weighed 140 pounds in 2016. I went down to 140 pounds. Okay. Then I went to this doctor at Cleveland Clinic. It was the TPN department, and that's where they put me on TPN, but it kept dropping my blood sugar down to like 37, the 40s, the 60s, and I just couldn't do it. I had a systemic stroke during that time. I took the kids out to the swimming pool, and I was talking to my daughter Beth's husband on the phone for about an hour and a half while the kids played. Then I got overheated, and then that night I was sitting up in the bed and I was talking to my husband, and I was cross-legged, and then all of a sudden, all right, go back to work, sweetie. Make that money. And I'm going to put these back in the mail, but I'm going to need you to send me your correct address because they said that's not it. And it came right back today. It was in today's mailbox. So anyway, so what had happened was, I forgot what I was just saying. But anyway, I'll tell you, I wound up on TPN, and in 2 months, I gained 90 pounds. So they took me off of the green TPN, and they put me on what they call lipids, which is fats, and I gained 90 pounds in 2 months, from 140 to 230, and then up to 250, and then from 250, now then I got off of the TPN because I made them take me off of it because I was gaining way too much weight. I'm not going to gain all that weight and can't even eat any food to enjoy it. Then now I'm down to 269. I mean 169 right now. So I done lost almost another 100 pounds, and it ain't even been a year. And so I went to my doctor. And I went to the hospital because this past month I just had surgery, and I had a hernia and a mash put in, and then they took and they cut my stomach away, all that scar tissue, and they gave me a better looking stomach because, like I said, I had like 8 6, 7, 8 feeding tubes in my stomach. And then I had to wear this wound vac for 8 months because I had caught a raging infection. I was in the hospital for 2.5 months with my stomach hanging wide open, where they took pictures every Monday to see was it improving any and packing it. I had to come home. I had to pack it. I had to wear this wound vac. It was the most painful thing in my life. You had to wear it 24 hours around the clock. Then I was on TPN 16 hours, 7 days a week. So I was stuck in this room with nothing to do. Then I made them take me off of that. And then I just started living my life. I couldn't eat or anything, but that was okay. I was just going to live my life, you know, do the best that I could. Okay? Then, now I'm down to 169 pounds, right? I'm losing anywhere between 2 to 5 pounds a week. So I went to my doctor 2 weeks ago, and my doctor told me that there is not anything else medically possible that they could do for me. Period. End of the story. So it's either get a feeding tube down my nose, and it'll be in a quart pack, and then they'll give me liquids through that. But there's going to be some pain involved because it's going through my nose, down my throat, and into my stomach. And that's going to be all the way sore. And then I'm going to have this damn thing sticking out my nose. Who wants to have that sticking out their nose? Okay? Then, not only that, then they said, or take the TPN. Okay? The TPN messes with your liver. So you have to get your blood work done once a week, twice a week, and whatever you need, it has to go on there. And it's anywhere between 12, 16, 18, or 24 hours around the clock with this TPN. So that's my only options. So if I don't take TPN, I'm going to lose 2 to 5 pounds. If I don't take the thing down my nose, I'm going to lose 2 to 5 pounds. And if I take the thing down my nose, it's only going to be in there for a month to give me some energy, some strength with I have none, because when I'm walking around, you would think that I'm an old lady, you know, because I'm walking around grabbing shit, holding on to it, you know, get overheated, can't do nothing about it. It's just ridiculous. And it's all because of Alina Contan at University Hospital screwed me up big time. And she is prejudiced against fat people. And I wish like hell I could have sued her, but they said statute of limitations ran out. So what do? Do I take the TPN and take the chance that it tear up my liver? If it tear up my liver, you can't live without a liver. And I'm never taking nobody else's body parts. They wanted to give me a transplant digestive system belonging to a dead person. No. And then they said I didn't qualify for it. So even if I would have took it, I wasn't a candidate for it. Okay? Because my whole system was messed up. So they gave me the smart pill. It took 21 hours to go through my system. If it was a normal person, it'd take an hour to go through your system. It took 21 hours to go through my system taking pictures. So now the question is, what do I do? Do I take TPN again and see what happens? Do I take the thing, they stick the thing through my nose like the babies have for a month to get my strength back and my energy back? Or do I just lay here and do nothing? Because that's all I do is just lay on my bed and do nothing. Y'all would not believe I did almost 30 Halloween bags. Custom made bags. Let me see that bag right there. Through Cadence bag. Take the whole thing down, the whole hanger. I did 30 of these custom made for my grandbabies because I had nothing to do. I did 30 of those different. You see her name is Kaden. I put all their names on their bags. Yes, I did. When I was just now this last month, I did almost 30 of those bags for my kids for Halloween because I was bored. I ain't have nothing to do. But now I started off doing something new. So now you're going to see new stuff on my channel. I am selling basically all brand new items, and I have a list of everything. And I'm going to do a video once I get everything in order. And I had this stuff for 3 days. Now I spent all this money buying all this stuff, and I'm just so tired that I don't even have the energy just to. Yesterday, Yetta came over and listed stuff for me, and wrote, took pictures of everything for me and put it all down or whatever. So I don't know. And she brought me dinner yesterday. She brought me and her dad some cabbage. She brought us some roast beef, and she brought us some rice, and it was pretty damn good. I was shocked. I don't think I ate none of Yetta's cooking in a long time. Now Beth said she was gonna make some. Beth said that she was going to make some chili and bring it over, and she make a hell of a chili, so we'll see about that. I'll get a couple bites of that. Tonight I had some mashed potatoes and some chicken, a couple bites of that. But what they said is that I don't eat enough to sustain life, and that's the problem. So just because I can eat a couple things don't mean that it's enough to sustain life, because I'm losing the weight and I'm losing the inches. And if you guys want to see me, here I am. Right now. This is your girl, Kathy. Let's go in the mirror outside so you can look at me and see me. Okay? Now I'm going to go right to this mirror, and then you can see me. Can you see Mama Kathy? That's me. Look how small I am. You see that? That's what 169 pounds look like. Well, I thank you guys for all standing here. Even though y'all didn't give me y'all opinion on what y'all think I should do. Should I take the TPN and take the chance on eventually of messing up my liver? Or should I do the core pack and let that stay in for a month and get a little energy? Or do nothing and lay there and die? What should I do? And the reason why I decided to take on a new adventure as far as buying stuff and selling stuff is to try to take my mind off of what that doctor said, that there is nothing else that you could do for me. You gave me a terminal illness without a name? Really? Come on now. But it is what it is. So I'm going to ask the remaining 5 people on me to tell me, what do you think that I should do? Should I take the TPN again, or should I take the core pack down my nose, or should I do nothing? Answer the question. I'll wait. I got time today. See? That I don't know. My husband says do the TPN, because you ain't gonna look right with nothing hanging out your nose. He thinking cosmetically. What do you, and then he said, no, I think you should take the core pack. What should I do? What should I do? That's the question. I lay there at night, laying there woke. And every time I think about it, my nose burn right here.
You gonna be mad at something in a minute, but I'm waiting on you.
Okay. I'm gonna, my nose be burning right here, and then I want to cry. The nose stings for a month. Then what happens after the month? See, that's the whole different. And then I want to cry because my life is so screwed up. And then people don't call me and see how I'm doing. And that's another sad part, because I help everybody and their mama. I help 5 people in 1 month eat. Okay? I'm just telling you. 5 people. And then after that, they got what they wanted from me and ain't heard nothing else from them. And that's sad. That's terrible. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead on and I'm going to let y'all go. Maybe what my husband said. He said twice. He said both. He said the core pack diagnose. And then he said the TPN. Kenna, Monica, what? You said mommy what? Danny, who you on the phone with? Oh. Alright, y'all. Okay. I want to send you a picture and tell me this is her or tell it or not. I'm going to send it through your message or open up your message. Alright, good night. Alright, good night, y'all. If y'all have any thoughts on what y'all think I should do, if you bored, look it up. TPN. Think about it. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you all for staying here listening to me for these 70 minutes. If you know a doctor or a nurse or a lawyer that I can sue, okay? Because they done did a lot to Mama Kathy. Let me know. You can let me know at KATHY7166@gmail.com. All right. I love all of y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Bye-bye.